So we are going to do the orthographic projection of this diagram you can see here. So let's construct it in first angle orthographic projection. Now the first thing you do is to draw your axis, alright, your x and y axis. After drawing that, you draw a guideline beside the axis. That guideline is to make our work neat and also to prevent our work intercepting each other or something. It basically makes our work neat. Alright, so I'm going to make it of equal length. Right, the guidelines are going to be of equal length. I'll show you how to draw the guidelines. So I've measured 5 millimeters from the center towards the left, 5 towards the right, 5 upwards, and then 5 millimeters downwards. Right, that will guide me in my construction. So let me go to my ruler. I do not have my T-square here, so let me show you how to work without your T-square. Put my ruler at the edge of my paper. Alright, and then I put my set square on my ruler and slide it to those points. So sliding to these points, I have this. Now take note, my lines are a bit thick, and that's because I want it to be obvious and visible, but make sure your guidelines are thin. The x and y axis are the only ones permitted to be thick. Other lines, guidelines should be thin. Take note of that. Right, I put my ruler on this other side. And set square beside it. Make sure it's overlapping, then I slide to each point. That's our diagram. Let's take this as the front view. The front view. And this becomes the side view, the right hand side view. Then this direction is the plan. Okay. Now, the first thing you look at is what are the sides you will see when you are viewing from the front. You can even do a quick sketch before you draw. What are the sides you see when you are viewing from the front? This is the front. You are going to see this side. You're going to see this side. You're going to see this inner side. And then you are going to see this face. So those are the only faces you will see. I'll label it F, 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 F. So those are the only Fs you see. So let's start by drawing all this, the down parts, before we go to the top part. Now all these things are going to be joined together. The fact that one is inside and the other one is outside doesn't mean they will be separate. If you are looking at it directly, remember I said you should engage your imagination. So if you're looking at it directly, everything will come out as one long rectangle. Alright? Everything will come out as one long rectangle on the same line. Remember I told you slant lines will become horizontal while vertical lines will remain vertical. So let's move. Let me just complete the front sketch. So you have something like this, and then it comes straight down. Alright, so this is going to be our front. Let's reflect it. So now we are going to draw the front view here. So we're going to draw the front view over here, all right? And we'll start from this corner. Remember I said everything should start from the guidelines, all right? All measurements start from guidelines. So we're going to start from the corner, which is going to be this corner, all right? And that is this corner. Okay, take note of that. So if you are going with that corner, from that corner to the left, That's 30 millimeters. You're going to measure 30 millimeters on this line. Let me make use of my ruler. I'm going to measure 30 millimeters. That's from here to this point. And then from that point, which is the same line, to the other side will be 30, like it's already stated. So we'll measure another 30. And then from that point, which is this, to the end is another 30. So we'll measure another 30. All right. So because I expect that to be a thin line, you are going to draw it thick. Or before, yeah, you can. Okay, before you draw it thick, let's make sure we have covered everything. So from this corner also, it goes upwards by 20. So from this corner, it goes up by 20 millimeters. All right. And then from that 20, it comes to the left, follows the same pattern with the base. So what we're going to do is we'll put a ruler at this end. Put our set square attached to the ruler. Slide until it gets to this point, 20, this point 20 that was marked earlier. And then we'll draw a line. I'm sure you can see the line that we drew. All right, so we then draw vertical lines from each of these points. The base has been completed. Then we move from this point or this corner upwards. All right, and from this corner upwards is 30. So we'll mark our 30. Then we'll draw it to the end over there. You can use your set square. You just increase this end by 30. That's another way to go about it. Then since both of them are 30, you can now draw out this measurement of 40. From the top to the left is 40. So you can have a thin line while you measure 40 on that thin line. Okay, then from this point you join it to the base, just like the diagram did. From this point you join to the base. Now you have your shape. So you just go ahead and make the relevant sides to be thick. You see, I've been able to bring out the main shape by making it thick. Next, we will go to the plan. Remember, I said you view the plan from the top, from the front rather. You view the plan from the front. So you are standing here and you are going to view the plan, not from this side, not from the other side, from the front. So if I'm viewing it from the front, let me do a sketch of what it will look like. You're going to see this surface, this area. You're going to see this area and this area. So let me draw the first part you see you'll see something like this. All right, and then you see this on top of it, which is this line coming this way. And finally, you see this one. Even though it's slanty, if you are looking at it directly from the top, it will look like a normal rectangle. All right, so that will be the closing rectangle. And of course, it ends at the side, which is the side. So you have your plan already laid out. And let me just quickly sketch the side, the end view, so that it will be easy for us to just start constructing that way. All right, so the end view, you are looking this way. Okay, and then you are going to see this side, you're going to see this side. All right, those are two sides you see. Now you should see this side. You should see this side, but it is being blocked by this area. So what's going to happen is that you are going to see the edge of the side. All right, this edge is already being reflected here, while this other edge is going to show as a form of hidden detail. All right, to show that there's something inside, but you cannot see it from where you are standing. That's why you use a broken line to represent that thing. All right, so let's sketch it out. We're going to see the base, which is something like this. After which you're going to see this place attached to it. Now, even though it's looking slanty, if you look at it directly, you understand that it will look a little, it will look like a rectangle, a portrait rectangle. All right, just like because it's slanty, it will now be shorter. Try to imagine it. So, and since it's starting from this end, you're going to have something like this, short, basically the same height as this. All right, and then you're supposed to have an L like this, but take note of this other side. So whatever the measurement of this side is, you have to measure that box. You're going to have the box like this, but in broken line. Now, the only reason you are seeing one broken line is because these other sides have been covered by the thick line. They have been covered, the broken line has been covered by thick line, so you won't see those broken lines. You are only going to see this edge. All right, you're only going to see that. So with that, I think we can move on to start constructing, just to use the measurement, and before you know it, we are done with the construction. So let's go. Let's start with the plan. All right, so the plan is usually on below the front. And when you are doing your orthographic projection, that's what we call projection lines. Projection lines. All right. So once you've drawn your first side, you then project lines from that side to the other sides that are yet to be drawn. And this is what I mean. You're going to project lines from every corner of the shape. So normally you're supposed to project line from this, and this, but when you project, it falls on this edge. So that one is out of it. Now you're supposed to project line from this and this. Both of them will fall on the same line. So you'll be having something like this. And your projection line should be thin, not thick. All right. So you have something like this coming downwards. You're also supposed to project line from this point. So let's use this for example. I'm going to put our set square there. Then put a ruler on the short side and slide until it gets to that point. So at that point, you now draw your other line, thin line. All right. Now you're also supposed to draw from this point. This and this, and so it will give something like this. And finally, you're supposed to draw from this 2 points, so to give something like this. All right, now you have your projection lines. the next thing starts forming. Now this projection lines has given a kind of skeletal structure to what you want to draw here, which is your plan. And you see how easy it will be since we already have a skeletal structure. All right. So your plan is going to start from this corner. In order for it to fall on this, it has to start from this corner, meaning it will start from this corner. All right. Now let's start taking it bit by bit. Starting from that corner is actually this corner. So we'll take it to the left. And what's measurement to the left? 40. So we'll measure 40. And this is already giving us 40. This line is already giving us 40. So you are going to have 40 there. All right. This is 40. And then from that 40, you're having it come down by 20. So you have 20 here. All right. So another 20 over here, because it's going to come down from here to at 20. So you can see that those guidelines are already, you don't need to even do some measurements. It's already measured for you. So you have 20 here. All right. Normally we're supposed to measure from here to here, but it's already been taken care of. Now you close those 20, 20, 20. Let me add the 20 here so that to just be a straight line. All right, we're going to draw a straight line. Okay, then it comes downwards from this point. It comes down by 40. So we'll take our 40 measurement. All right, and we'll take another 40 at this end. Okay, and then the 40 goes by 30. It goes to the left by 30, and that is this. You can see the 3 foot. This is 30, another 30, and that 30. So you have your 30 here, your second 30. That means I can safely take 40 here too, and take another 40 at this point, so that it will be easy for me to join. So from here to here, just join this 40. All right, and I just joined this 40. All right, then this goes upwards by 20. So I'm going to just measure 20 here. Measure 20 here also, because it's the same thing for the other end. And I'll join my 20 together. All right, and I'll close this. I'll close this. So that I've gotten my shape. You just go ahead and make it thick so that it can be visible. So you can see the shape is out. Right, we are beginning to make sense. So lastly, you have your end elevation. And for your end elevation, you need to draw an angle from this point, from this center point. You need to draw an angle 45 so that you'll be able to project from here to the end elevation, and then also from the front view. All right, so how do you go about that? Simple. Take your protractor, put at the center, make sure that the line falls on the horizontal line that is attached to the center, and then you mark out your angle 45. All right, then you take your ruler and draw the angle. Remember, it should be a thin line. All right, a thin line. You draw the angle, and now that you've drawn the angle, you can project from your plan. Every point you're supposed to project from this point, this point, this point, but all of them will fall into a line. That one is taken. And this point, this point, this point, they will also fall into a line. You put your ruler or your set square, anything you want to use, and draw a line till it touches this point. All right, that line will be taken upwards. Also, these are two other points. You draw a line, they'll follow the same line. So you draw a line from there till it touches the slants, and then finally this point, all of them will fall on one line. So you draw that line till it touches this slant. All right, now from that slant you project upwards. Right, you can put your ruler somewhere here and then begin to slide from each of those points. This is a point, slide upwards. This is another point, slide upwards. And this is the final point. Slide upwards. Usually it's not 100% accurate, but at least it should not be far inaccurate. It should be very close, and which is still acceptable. Okay, now we'll just draw lines from this point to be able to intersect. Now you can see we have our lines coming from the bottom and coming from the sides. So it has given us a shape for our end elevation already, which is something very similar to what we have here. Now it's just for us to begin to bring out or develop the shape on this diagram. It's developed already. As we can see, this it's already developed. So what we'll do is just make it thick, all right, and make the hidden detail hidden. So let's get to it. So it's done. Just take note that when you're drawing your hidden detail, don't start from the end. Just give a little space and draw your hidden detail. Now what is left is to just label the names and dimension properly. So this is a complete work on how to do an orthographic projection in first angle projection.